are two products that look totally different yet have almost identical features. On the left the KRUPS and on the right the Wine Art. In general, what does one notice? The KRUPS has rather a flattering appearance, rewarding, a solid, robust design, but it will quickly disappoint users. Probably a big disappointment when handling it on a daily basis. Not intuitive, very complicated. The product is bulky. In contrast, Wine Art has a more discreet appearance, a simple design, and will rapidly reassure the user when using it, handling it, thanks to its intuitive features, ultra simple to use. The product is more compact. We wish to analyze the technical and aesthetic aspects of each of them to compare them for you in the most objective way possible. To the best of our knowledge, the KRUPS product is marketed only in North America for the time being. The packaging of the KRUPS and the Wine Art are very similar, identical type of cardboard in terms of ply and lamination, polystyrene shells to properly wedge the product, a plastic sheath for protection. An advantage for Wine Art, its carrying handle on the top of the packaging. Indeed, KRUPS does not have a handle despite its large size. Documents provided in both cases, a manual and a quick start. We do remind you, however, that there is a more complete quick start in video format for Wine Art. As for the overall size of the products, the KRUPS model is very imposing, very bulky. Its dimensions, height by width by depth, are 500 by 420 by 280 millimeters, and the weight is 16 kilos. As for the Wine Art, it's far more compact, easier to position on a worktop in the kitchen, for example. Its dimensions, again height by width by depth, are 478 by 245 by 248 in millimeters, and its weight is only 5.5 kilos. Right, let's now connect the two units. For the KRUPS model, plug in the power cable to the mains, and then switch on the on-off button on the back of the product. Two stoppers at the back ensure minimum clearance between the wall and the product. For the Wine Art model, simply plug the power cable into the wall, and the power cable on the back acts as the minimum clearance between the product and the wall. A few miscellaneous points. The main material used in both cases is plastic. The advantages on the KRUPS model, visible to the customer at first glance, would be the setting buttons on touchscreen with backlit keys, which enhances the product. Lighting in both compartments, two lighting options, on, off, but it remains weak, barely visible. The handles on the front of the KRUPS model are aluminium. Double glazed glass doors with silkscreen, rather qualitative, plus a closing magnet. As for excess water management, which can happen in certain climates, Wine Art has a deep drip tray for the excess water with a sort of brake wave system to avoid overflow when handling. KRUPS, on the other hand, has no drip tray, no drain hole under the unit for excess water. Just a retractable flat tray used during service to avoid splashing the worktop when pouring wine. Regarding noise level, KRUPS is rather noisy on startup and in use because of the fans, but we have no information as to the value of the noise indication. The Wine Art is 38 dB. Let us now see the features offered in detail. The KRUPS model has 3 automatic features: bringing a bottle to serving temperature, preservation by vacuum, and a semi-automated serving system incorporating a wine aeration system. Semi-automated because you have to hold the serving lever down. The Wine Art model has 2 automatic functions: bringing a bottle to serving temperature and preservation by vacuum. Serving wine remains manual. We shall now manipulate each of these products and highlight installing and removing a bottle. Now let's look into bringing to serving temperature and preserving your wine. As you can see, 2 separate compartments for each product, allowing bringing to serving temperature whether red, white or rosé wines. Let's start with wine art. I install the bottle to bring to a serving temperature and trigger the vacuum system. Rather simple and quick. The wine art model has two choices. Select either white or rosé wine or red wine using the pictograms on the interface. The temperature is automatically obtained, 8 to 10 for white and rosé, or 16 to 18 for red wine. Please note, our laboratory informs us that in an environment of 21 degrees, with a bottle at 21 degrees, to then go from 21 degrees down to 8 to 10, that is obtained in 3 hours, and only 1 hour to reach 16 to 18. And this system is adapted for both open or corked bottles. Now let's install a bottle in the KRUPS model. The installation is rather laborious and absolutely not intuitive. Many movements are required from the time you open the door and close it again through installing the bottle. Also, please note, the compartment cannot accommodate magnum bottles, something someone might have imagined given the size of the product. On the KRUPS model, a power button allows turning the corresponding compartment on, just like for wine art. Setting the temperature can either be done manually, from 7 to 20 degrees Celsius, or by using the list of pre-selected 20 different wines. The time required for bringing down to serving temperature, as we did on the wine art, again from 21 degrees Celsius as an environment and 21 degrees for the bottle, to bring it down all the way to 7 degrees Celsius will take you 18 hours. For the wine art, the vacuum is automatically triggered as soon as the bottle has been positioned. The active protect indicator flashes whilst vacuuming and remains lit, the green light, to ensure proper operation. Wine art states the preservation of wine up to 10 days depending on the wine and its vintage. As for KRUPS, they state 5 to 7 days for white wine and 7 to 10 for red. Okay, now we're going to pour ourselves a glass of wine. So I push down on the lever to pour some wine. There's an express decanting system which you can see through the transparent nozzle. When I release the lever, you can see the wine will continue to pour. It splashes all over the place and it's not very qualitative. In summary, our general appreciation of the KRUPS product, very positive perception. But that's only the perception. Flattering appearance, rather rewarding, with many features. It's sturdy, a quality design, but will quickly disappoint users. Probably even be a big disappointment. Getting started with its ergonomical elements, beautiful finish, but not practical, not simple, not intuitive. Not intuitive even with the quick start. Required time for bringing the wine to temperature extremely long. Mandatory cleaning between each bottle. Hand clean the circuit with water. The components do not go in the dishwasher. Not hygienic because certain elements are in direct contact with the wine. And it drips. Price-wise, the KRUPS is $499, which is about 380 euros. The wine art, $495 and 389 euros.